How are you guys doing today?
Good, man.
Good, man. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing awesome. So, Hugh, how did you find the story and get on board and decide you wanted to be part of the production?
Well, I co-created it with Taylor Sheridan years ago. Originally, he was my acting coach. We were both broke. We lived in LA. He lived just off Fairfax. I would have to decide whether I'm going to pay for dinner or I'm going to get Taylor to coach me, and it was kind of that kind of broke. And we hit it off and he coached me for years. But in that period of time, he would open the door to, well, what do you really want to do? Or what story would you tell? Because I'd complain about, I don't want to audition for this. And well, what do you want to do? And I'm from a town that had 9 penitentiaries, a maximum, medium, prison for women. And we would start hyper focusing on, well, what if we made that story? And this guy, Taylor Sheridan's a force of nature, and he could break down character. He could break down the world. He could break down the emotional beats in a second. And so we would just hyper focus on this world, and we built it out. And then 10 years ago, he knocked out a script. And then he wanted to make sure that we could control it. And he sold Sicario. And then he made Wind River, and he said, well, come and act on this. Renner's in it. And then he was shooting Yellowstone, and he said, come down here, let's shoot this, and we're going to make it. And then 2 years ago or a year ago, he said, are you sitting down? We got a deal. And then he's just a gentleman, and he has great insight into actors, and he steered us toward Toby, who nailed it to the wall, because it's a dream of mine my whole life to make this thing and to watch these actors and Renner and Dianne Wiest knock it so far out of the park. It's today is just a great Monday for me, probably the best Monday in my whole fucking life.
That's amazing, and congratulations. Toby, I would love to hear how you became part of this. How did you get your role?
It was a shot in the dark, and just I prayed one day, and then next day audition came. It's just, hey, you might as well, right? And originally a friend of mine had gone up for it, and he put me on it and asked me to get my agent on it. My agent was already on it because she's good like that. And I did the tape. My wife directs my audition tapes. So and once we did that tape, we sent it off, and then I just forgot about it. And before I knew it, I think it was a couple of months afterwards, I had a conversation with Taylor, and then shortly after that, I had to, like, very much like you, I had to sit down, because when my agent told me that we had booked the job, I had to sit down, because it was I don't know, I can't explain it. I was almost sick with excitement.
Yeah.
Toby, I'd love to hear a short story of an exciting day on set.
No, oh man,
the car with Renner. The car with Renner.
Yeah. Oh, can we say that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't say.
Okay. Now, people are excited to watch the show. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
For putting all your heart into this, and we're excited to see it when it comes out.
Thanks for taking the time, Joe.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Joe. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm good, man. Thank you.
Awesome to hear. What excited you most when you booked this role?
Getting to work with Taylor Sheridan and Jeremy Renner. That was an exciting thing that has happened to me in a long time.
That's awesome. Obviously, there's amazing team and cast all around. I'd love to hear specifically about your TV brothers. Like, what was kind of unique about working with them, and what are some of your favorite memories with them?
I think the scene, the first scene with the three of us was probably my favorite scene to film. And it just truly showed the mastery and the professionalism of both Kyle Chandler and Jeremy Renner, because we were all able to just pick up as three brothers, like right off the bat. Like we didn't get much time together beforehand. I think when I first met Jeremy, I talked with him for about a half an hour before we got into a scene, and it was the same with Kyle. Excuse me. And so you get to know each other just a little bit, get a little friendly, and then you just hop in, and it was exciting.
And from the pilot, it makes it so much more fascinating, that family dynamic. I'd love to hear maybe about a challenge that you had. Maybe there's a certain day or a certain maybe scene that was a little challenging, and how you and the crew kind of overcame that.
Oh, it's a challenging day. Yeah, I think, maybe the first day for me. I mean, I was the first shot. It was a solo shot. It was actually the scene where I was on the phone, and it was the first shot of the entire series. And here I am, kind of coming in. Taylor Sheridan's there, one of the guys I've always wanted to work with. And I just really had to overcome my nerves and bring it and just like kind of dig deep. And Taylor was so gracious and, just kind of helped me, talked me through it. And, knowing that he was behind the camera and he's, making this the way that he wants to make it, it just, made me feel so much more comfortable as an actor, because I really, really trust his eye. Because I mean, his track record speaks for itself. He can do no wrong.
Absolutely. And obviously you've been part of so many things just throughout your career. Was there anything unique?
Well, the environment that Taylor created early on was an environment where, a very free flowing creative vibe was allowed, was expected. And that doesn't happen a lot. I mean, fortunately I have felt that on a few things, but on this, it was a solid throughout. Every day coming to set and doing a scene, we really got to explore what all the ifs and maybes, and we got to explore the entire spectrum of what the scene could be, and then we got to put it down on wax. And I'm really looking forward to see what made the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're excited too. So thank you so much, Taylor.
Okay, Joe. Thank you so much.
How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, good. Thanks.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. So Aidan, I'd love to ask you, what drew you to the story and what made you want to be part of this?
The fact that Taylor Sheridan had written it and was going to direct it, to be honest, because I'd worked with him before and he asked me to do it with the promise of, well, this guy, we're just really kind of introducing him. He's talked about it a lot, but there's not tons and tons and tons of scenes this season, but it's just an introduction. So I knew the quality was going to be good. A lot of the same people who'd worked on the thing we'd worked on, who'd worked on Yellowstone, Wind River, big production company behind it. So the production values were going to be really high. And just the multifaceted, multi-stranded, big ensemble drama set in a town where prison is the industry, which fascinates me.
I love it. Emma, when you first saw the script and you saw your role, what really excited you about your role and story?
Oh God. I mean, the point, I only got episodes 1 and 2 right up until the day before I was cast. So I was on this flight to Texas reading through these scripts and being like, oh, what am I getting myself in for? Taylor had given me like a layout of what kind of happens to her and what she's already been through. So I knew it would be heavy and deep and a challenge. But I was terrified reading it, but also just so fascinated by how grounded it is and how there's so much truth in there, and how just the excitement as an actor to research and really try and figure out how I'm going to do this I just love the challenge. I really love the challenge. And of course, Taylor and the people that were attached to it were exciting, but I was just terrified out of my mind. And the person inside me, the reckless person, was like, yeah, do it. Let's see. It all go wrong, but it didn't.
That's fantastic. Was there anything unique that either of you did to help create personality for your characters? Aidan first.
In what kind of research kind of term? Yeah. I don't really, not particularly, not that I hadn't done before, other than just kind of reading up on who this, who these guys' peers might be and all that. I can't give you a terribly exciting answer on that. But
was there anything for you, Emma?
I had 2 months. This is my first job. I was like, I need to research. I need so much time. And I really realized that actually a lot of it's just letting it go when you get set. And I was just panicking too much. But for me, the accent was the first step, because I did a random accent for no reason whatsoever in the self-tape. And when I got on the phone with Taylor, it was like, yeah, whatever you want. So I didn't know where my accent was from. I just did it because I wanted to. And so I rang my dialect coach when I got the role. And I was like, where is this? Let's build this backstory. And she was like, sounds like North Carolina. And we got going from there, and we kind of created this whole backstory of like where the town that she grew up in. I was looking at houses that she would have lived in based on her parents' income, like all this random, really, really meticulous stuff. And then just researching into trafficking and because that's really, I guess, the situation that Iris is in my mind. And yeah, a bunch of boring stuff that actors do for researchers. Really, you don't want to hear it.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for taking your time for the interview, and good luck on your success.
Thank you.
Thank you.